12th World Trade Organization Ministerial Conference has begun in Geneva. The conference is being held after a gap of 5 years. The World Trade Organization chief has expressed cautious optimism. More than 100 trade ministers are meeting in Geneva, and they are expected to achieve one or two global deals these weeks. The WTO chief has urged trade ministers to go an extra mile over the coming days to achieve agreements. This includes reduction in fishing subsidies, boosting access to COVID-19 vaccines, and addressing food security.
Stability, you cannot work on the real economy, really. And that's what I'm cautiously optimistic that we'll get to our one or two deliverables out of the bundle that I just talked about. The ball is in the court of the ministers now. We'll be there to help them as much as possible.
The Indian delegation is being led by Union Minister for Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal. The key areas of negotiations include agriculture, fisheries, WTO reforms, and response to the pandemic.
भारत ने बहुत मजबूती से आज बात रखी है कि इस पीस क्लॉज को या जो ये पब्लिक स्टॉक होल्डिंग अलाउ होती है इसको परमानेंटली अलाउ कर दिया जाए। ये सिर्फ मात्र एक टेम्पररी मेजर के बदले इसको WTO के कानूनों के अंदर ही लाया जाए, उस विषय में हमने आज बात रखी है। अलग अलग बायलैटरल्स में भी ये बात रखी है। एक प्रस्ताव आया है WTO चेयर की तरफ से कि इसको एक वर्क प्रोग्राम में डाला जाए। अलग अलग विषय जो कृषि क्षेत्र के साथ जुड़े हैं उसके ऊपर और तीव्रता से चर्चा करके कुछ निर्णय लिया जाए। इस प्रकार से कई सारे बातें चल रही हैं, लेकिन भारत अपने किसानों के लिए, अपने खाद्य सुरक्षा के लिए, गरीबों के लिए पूरी तरीके से तत्पर है, पूरी तरीके से यहाँ पे संघर्ष कर रहा है।
And for further details, WION correspondent Swati Kandawal sent us this report from Geneva.
When you talk about some of the deliverables that we can expect from here is the fact that India has taken a stance where it believes in a transparent and inclusive multilateral trading system. Of course, it also says that there is a need to preserve the basic principles of the WTO, and that's what it's backing, like non-discrimination, consensus-based decision-making, and special and differential treatment to the developing countries. There's a lot of backing that India is getting from a lot of developing nations on many accounts. When you talk of 3 or 4 broad points that are going to be discussed here, one of course is the WTO response to the pandemic. Remember, we are coming out of this once in a lifetime pandemic, and the fact that it has created a lot of global supply concerns and issues, the disruption which one had never seen, the unprecedented disruption to the global economy and trade, that's something that's going to be the top of the priority here on the discussion table. And TRIPS waiver takes important significance here, because this is a proposal led by South Africa and India and backed by many WTO members. Now, this basically is a proposal which waives, or at least proposes to waive, patent protections on COVID-19 vaccines temporarily, and that basically is to be done because the kind of destruction the pandemic has created, we need some action to be taken which is quick and swift. So that remains a big area where India will back removing or waiving patent protections on COVID-19 vaccines temporarily.
Meanwhile, around 500 protesters marched in Geneva. They slammed the free trade's role in a global food security crisis. Protesters marched with banners that read, "Our food is not merchandise." Global food security is high on the agenda at the 4-day meeting. 164 member states are under pressure to produce a common response to the risk of a global hunger crisis. This problem has been dramatically escalated by the Russian invasion of Ukraine.